Good evening, everyone. Today is the sixth day of our workshop, and we are going to continue with the SPSS today. In the previous session, we have understand regarding the basics of SPSS. Today, again, our guest speaker, Dr. Sakharam Mule, is going to explain you about the applied statistics which you are going to use in your SPSS. Good evening, sir, and you can start with the session.
Okay, good evening all.
Yeah, good evening,
Just
sir.
give me a minute, I will share my screen. I hope I'm audible to everybody.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, good evening. I hope I'm audible. And
Yes, sir.
this is the
Even we are
sixth
able to
day
see
of
your
this particular
slides.
workshop. Yeah, thank you. Only single slide I'm going to talk on, and then we'll jump to the SPSS script. This is something, just a brief introduction. I think many people might have talked about this testing procedure, but still I thought that I should talk to you again from all this perspective. So, data analysis actually starts with a very simple thinking that what exactly we want to analyze. So that's why we are saying that a data analysis, for any kind of data analysis, identification of the variables is very essential part. There are a lot many types of variables, but when we start analysis, we always think of uh, dependent and independent variables, and our analysis starts with certain objectives and hypotheses. So there are two types of analysis we always have. One is hypothesis-driven analysis, and other is exploratory type hypothesis. So hypothesis-driven analysis, we need to identify dependent variables, we need to identify independent variables. Even in case of exploratory type hypothesis, we need to identify dependent variable and independent variable. So basic purpose of any data analysis is either to find out the difference between the certain parameters or to find out the association. So when we start data analysis at the time, the first thing is that we should know that what is our test, what are the types of tests which we can use. Today we are going to talk about two tests which are very frequent and which are used very frequently for the purpose of data analysis. I'm adding few more tests from the domain of non-parametric because otherwise it will not be a complete explanation for the comparison of differences. Okay. Now, as it is visible on my on your screen that it is a tree. We have started with a data analysis. Then we identify whether my data analysis is is of the type of parametric or non-parametric. So there are certain assumptions for the variables which has to be tested, and if the assumptions are being tested positively for parametric, then we say that we will require parametric test, or we'll choose a test from the parametric domain. Otherwise, we choose a test from non-parametric domain. It's a very small tree which I have prepared for you, and this tree is a very bigger one if we try to put all statistical tests in this particular tree. So what are the assumptions of parametric test? The basic assumptions of parametric test are the data should be normally distributed. It should be defined on scale, and there should not be significance of difference between the variances of the groups, okay, which are taken for the comparison. That means if I'm comparing, let us assume that my variable is uh, blood, what do you call that, blood pressure, or we can think of weight of the person. We can think of height of the person. These are the very simple examples. Annual income of the person. Because all these variables, they are measured on some certain unit of measurement. Let us say that we have annual income of the person, and annual income is in certain rupees. So per annum annual income, per annum rupees income we have taken, and we are calling it as annual income. So annual income are defined with certain unit of measurement. Let us define it on uh, unit of measurement as rupees, and we want to compare whether the annual income of the respondents when compared against male and female is same or different. So automatically the first assumption of scale, whether the data is defined on scale variable or not. So my first assumption is satisfied because the annual income is a scale variable and it is defined on certain unit of measurement. Now I have to test for a second assumption, that whether my data satisfy the test of normality or not. In SPSS, if we go for the test of normality, then we can think of the basic tests which are with SPSS, and they are with analyze, and then descriptive, explore. I think I'm my screen is visible. If you want, I will increase the font. Yeah, it's visible, and it's
Yes, sir, it's clearly visible.
audible.
Yes, sir, yes, we are able to hear you.
Huh. Yeah. So I want to test whether my data is normally distributed or not. So the procedure is analyze, go to descriptive, go to explore, and take the variable. Say age is a variable which is defined on scale. I want to test it against gender. So in male and female, whether it is uh, normally distributed or not. If you click on the option of statistic, you will get uh, the basic options, that descriptive statistics and confidence interval at for mean at 95% confidence interval. So we have a 95% and 99% confidence interval. So we have 95% confidence interval here. So descriptive statistics is sufficient for me, as my interest is not on finding out the mean, median, and mode. I want to test normality. Go to plots. In plots you have different options, and there is one option, that is this box plot is an option. Uh, this is factor levels together and dependent together. So what are the factor levels? That is male and female together. So let it be factor levels together. This is another important plot. Stem and leaf will not go for stem and leaf. If you want to have histogram, you can have here. And there is an option called as normality plots with test. Okay, so click on normality plots with test. Spread versus level with 11 test. If you want to test your 11 test, if you want results for 11 test, you can have it here. So 11 test is basically used to test the variability between within a variable. So, but we will not go for 11th test. We will go for normality plot. I want to test my second assumption of parametric test, that whether my data is normally distributed or not. So I will continue. In option, you can pick of exclude cases listwise. Let it be exclude cases listwise. Exclude cases pairwise means if suppose you have two variables, if you are taken for analysis, and if suppose there is missing in one variable, the corresponding value in the other variable will be dropped out. Okay, and report values. So these are the options, and basically we go for the basic default option of exclude cases listwise. Listwise means variable wise. And here it is, display what you want to display. If you click only on statistics, then you will not get option of plots. Okay, if you just want to test normality, and if you don't want to display descriptive statistics, then you can click only on plots. But as I have clicked on descriptive statistics as well, as I want results for the plots, so I will click on both. Let us see what happens. Now this is my output window. We have tested it for male and female, whether age is normally distributed within a male and female or not. Okay. So your first is case processing summary, and it is in case processing summary. You can see that first is there are 13 male and 12 female. None of the cases is missing. So total cases which are taken for analysis is 25. Okay. The next one is, this is a descriptive statistics which is giving you information on mean, median, mode, variance, and all possible descriptive statistics with a 95% confidence interval for mean, different for male and different for female. So in total, 13 male are taken for analysis and 12 female data is taken for analysis. Okay. Now, where is my test? Here you can have a test of normality, and there are two tests which are provided by SPSS. One is Kolmogorov-Smirnov test, and other is Shapiro-Wilk test. So, KS test and Shapiro-Wilk test, we can think that what is the hypothesis in this particular case? That null hypothesis, that data is normally distributed, and alternate hypothesis, that data is not normally distributed. Now, testing procedure, I hope you must be given idea about testing procedure, that at 5% level of significance, if you want to test, then if this p-value, significant value, you can see that this is the p-value, which is here, that is this one, 0.120 is, this is a p-value. Significance p-value means p-value. So if p-value, we normally say that if p-value, our test procedure is, testing is, if p-value is less than 0.05, then we reject null hypothesis. Okay. You will please note this, because this I am going to use very frequently, as this is at 5%, level of significance. Okay. What if 1%? 5% level of significance means 95% confidence interval. 1% means 99% confidence interval. I am assuming that you are aware about all these concepts. Okay. Now, if p-value is greater than, so what else? If p-value is greater than 0.05, then we do not reject null hypothesis. In case of normality, your null hypothesis is data is normally distributed, and in alternatives we write here as alternate. Let us alternate hypothesis is data is not normally distributed. Okay, so there are different formats of this hypothesis. Okay, and wording may be different, but basic wording is basic wording for this hypothesis is like this. Okay. Now, on the basis of your results which you have before you, that is test is, you can copy and paste here, and we can see the results. What exactly my data is. So our data is, these are the p-values. You can see my p-value. So in case of this p-value, is my p-value. Okay. and we say that if p-value is less than 0.05, then we reject the hypothesis. And this is my basic interpretation. So for this particular case, we can think of that what we should do for test of normality. So my data is normally for case test, if your data is greater than 0, this value is greater than 0.200, then it is assumed to be approx, that means uh, moderately normally distributed. But if it is less than 0.200, then but greater than 0.05, then we can say that it is approximately normally distributed. There is there are many literature which says that we should rely on Shapiro Wilk test, because this test is considered to be more powerful. Here also the interpretation is same, that my data is if my p-value is greater than 0.05, then we retain null hypothesis that data is normal distributed. Otherwise, data is not normal distributed. So as long as your Shapiro-Wilk test is concerned, Shapiro-Wilk test, the data for male and female is differently distributed. Data for male is not distributed normally, but data for female is distributed normally. So in such a situation, I cannot use a parametric test. Okay, but on the basis of case test, I can say that my data is approximately normally distributed, so I can go for the test of normality. If my if there is, and then I will go for significance test value, and then if that significance test value is on as a case is a case of borderline, and that is near to 0.05, then I have to go for non-parametric test. So this is the basic comparison. This is basic requirement for parametric test. So if my parametric test assumptions are not satisfied, in that situation I have to shift for non-parametric domain. So in parametric, we have normally when we are testing our hypothesis, either we are testing it for differences or we are testing it for association. So if I am testing it for differences, then I have to think of that how many variables I am going to compare with each other. Say for example, now in this case I am comparing age, again age of male and age of female, that average age of male and average age of female in my data set. So I want to find out the significance of difference between the average age of male and average age of female. So I want to find, is there any significance of difference between average age of male and average age of female. So that is the basic idea. So this is the case of two variables. That means I want to compare male against female. Differences, again I have two types of differences. One is with respect to independent variables. As male and female, they form an independent group, we call them as independent variables or independent group. Other is we can think of a paired group. Okay, what is to be called as paired group? Paired group says that I'm taking observation on certain pair of that means on same samples, but they are paired with certain parameters. Let us say that I am taking an observation before and after. Before and after observation means, suppose I am teaching to certain class, and before starting my lectures I am giving you a test and I am asking you to go for certain test. एक MCQ आपसे conduct करवा दिया और आपका results मैंने note down किया. So and then I have taken a class, and then after my lecture again I have given the same type of test to you, and again I have taken information from you or I collected data from you. So the test become your treatment. That means you have given certain treatment to a group. That treatment is nothing but that you taught in class and now you have taken results and you want to find out after teaching or giving information to students how much improvement has happened to that particular group. So that kind of testing we call it as before and after testing. So we have either we are comparing certain two independent variables or we are comparing some paired group of variables, that means before and after. Okay, there is another case that we can have more than two groups. Say for example I have 4 age groups, okay, and I want to compare whether marks of the students they differ significantly when compared between age groups. So in this particular data set you can see that I have gender, then I have age, I have C1, C2 satisfaction level, and again I have certain, if suppose I will add another variable, let us say that I add that variables and let us call it as marks. Okay, and I will generate, let it be marks numeric, and it is a scale. Okay, now I would like to have, let us generate data for that. Let us take a data is the marks of the student. I'm generating data. There is a function called as random between, let us assume that the students are scoring marks between 20 and it is 99. 20 is minimum and 99 is maximum. So it is bottom and top is, let us say, maximum is 99. Okay, and I have 25 observations. So I want, let us generate and paste it. So please understand this, and this is hypothetical data of the students. Okay, so I want to compare between age groups. So how many age groups we have in our data set? Yesterday we have seen that how many age groups we have. So let us find that how many age groups. So we can do that by using table option. And we have 3 age groups, that is 2, 3 and 4. So what is that age group? 20 to 30. Let us say that this is, will define age group even. Here it is. 1 is 10 to 20. As 2 is 21 to 30. 3 is 31 to 40. And let us say that 4 is above 40. Okay, these are my age groups. There is certain awareness tests I have conducted on these age group. Let us keep this variable as ordinal. Okay, we have, so you can see now that what if I have given a value labels to this particular variable, then definitely my output will be. Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yes, now visible.
Yeah, it's visible. Yeah. So it is. This is how many age groups I have. 3 age groups. I have data for 3 age groups. Though I have entered for 4 age group, but there is no respondent whose age is less than 20 or 21. So I have 3 age group, that is 21 to 30, 31 to 40, and above 40 for comparison. Now 21 to 30 I have 10 observations, 31 to 40 I have 5 observations, and above 40 I have 10 observations. So I want to compare the significance of difference between these particular 3 age groups. So this is the case which comes under, this comes under more than 2 variables comparison. Okay, this is more than 2 variables comparison case. So what is that more than 2 variables comparison case? It means that you are comparing, you want to compare the average marks of group A against group B against group C. Okay, so there are 3 age groups. So this is how we can think of comparison. So that is, if you want to find out the significance of difference between 3 age groups. Okay, and this test we are calling it as comparison of difference then more than 2 groups. Okay, now in the first case, when you have only 2 groups, then we use t-test. Okay, I hope some I don't know whether you have been given information about some idea about t-test or not. T-test, and we have 2 cases of t-test. One is independent and other one is paired. Okay, so paired and independent. And for more than two variables, we use ANOVA. Today we are going to talk about ANOVA and t-test. So comparison is, okay, this is two variables. Let us say I am preparing one table. You can take a screenshot of this table once it is prepared. Number of variables, okay, that is 2, and more than 2 test used from parametric is t-test, and more than 2 variables ANOVA. For non-parametric, you can see that I have written two tests, that is Mann-Whitney U-test and Kruskal-Wallis. So it is Mann-Whitney U-test and Kruskal-Wallis. They are the counter tests for t-test. So it is Kruskal-Wallis. Here it is Mann-Whitney or Wilcoxon's sign rank, and here it is independent variable. Okay, independent t-test and pair t-test. Okay, two variable t-test. There are different names. So this is for test for, this is non-parametric domain. So we should know that if I'm not able to go for the parametric, or if I'm not able to find out the solution with parametric, then what to do? Then we have to rely on non-parametric, and non-parametric is there are two tests of non-parametric. The first one is
Sir, sorry to
Mann-Whitney test,
interrupt.
which is
Just give me 1 minute. Sir's screen is clearly visible. Right now, he is preparing one comparison table. Those who are not able to find his screen
Hello.
in the
Hello. Hello.
people section, just give me 2 minutes. In the people
Hello.
section, you can see the 85 people over there. Just search for the Sakaram Mule. You can see the presentation. Click on that and it will be clearly visible on your screen. Sir's font size is also clear.
Hello,
and we
ma'am.
can see that.
there
Yes,
are
sir.
Hello.
there are two names of with the same name. Okay, Sakaram. So please check for both the names.
Yeah, presentation. Just search
Please,
that.
ma'am, sir, close the presentation and again give the presentation. Then default screen is the sir.
Okay. No problem. Right
I
now
will
also
do that.
some
Okay, don't
people
worry.
are
But
posting in the chat
actually,
section.
it is visible. Actually, you need to pin on your right screen. As per
Yes.
I know, I can see it. Uh, Respected whoever is facing the problem, you go to the right hand side and there is option pin. So the screen of the Sakaram sir will be come to your computer because we can see it.
Yes, sir. You can start.
Now, is it visible? I stopped it and again I
Yes,
shared
yes,
my screen.
yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, it
Yeah.
is visible.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. So these are the tests which we are going to talk in SPSS section. This is just a basic idea, and tomorrow we are going to talk about correlation and this factor analysis. So I have given an idea here that in parametric test we have Pearson's correlation. We use Pearson correlation. That is, if I want to test an association between two variables. Now there are two types of association. One is between some ordinal association, ordinal data in one variable, and again ordinal data in other variables. So we go for non-parametric association test, and that is Spearman's rank correlation or Kendall-Staube's test. Okay. And another one is when I want to find out the association. Let us say that marks obtained by the respondent and their age, that is there any association of age and marks obtained by that particular respondent. So that is both the variables are scale in nature, and if both of them satisfy the condition of normality, and then we go for Pearson's correlation. It comes under parametric domain. There is another test we will talk tomorrow, that is association, and we call it as a chi-square contingency table. So chi-square is basically used for frequency data, and we test it by using chi-square test. That is, let us say that is there any age group and male female. Yesterday we have generated chi-square. So is it like that whether the number of respondent belonging to certain age group are more in male than that of female. So I want to test that whether male female is associated with age group. So tomorrow we'll take one proper example on association. But today we will majorly focus on independent t-test and pair t-test and ANOVA. And if suppose if we time permits, then we'll go for Mann-Whitney U-test, even Wilcoxon sign rank and Kruskal-Wallis. Okay. So let us shift our discussion to SPSS.
Sir, now your
In
screen is
SPSS
not
now,
visible. Sir, now it's not visible.
okay, I will stop sharing and again I will share it. Okay.
Yes, sir, please.
Is it visible now?
It's showing as presenting, but nothing is visible. Oh, yes, now it's visible, sir.
Now it's visible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can put it in a chat box so that I will keep a track on chat box also.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So my basic hypothesis. I'm putting my hypothesis. Let us write it properly so that you will understand that null I'm writing H naught, so that you will be trained for hypothesis writing also, and you will get more idea on this. And I'm writing it as there is no significance of difference between average marks when compared. Significance of difference for average marks when compared between male and female. So you will understand that male and female, when I'm comparing male and female, it does mean that I have to compare two groups. So for two groups, a likely test, choice of the test is I'm choosing a test. Choice is independent t-test. Okay, independent t-test. Why independent t-test? Because male and female are two independent groups. There is no relationship between the individuals which are belonging to male group and female group. So I want to find out whether the difference is significant or not. Okay, and my alternate will be there is a significance of difference for average marks when compared between. Just please. I hope that you will consider for any grammatical mistakes. So choice is independent t-test. The level of
So
significance.
we are just able to see your sheet, but whatever you're typing and whatever the formulas you're putting, that we are not able to see.
Okay, okay. Now what is visible?
So now nothing is visible. It's presenting. Now the Word document we can see.
Yeah, what document is visible, right?
Yes.
Okay. So there is no significance of difference. Null hypothesis I want to test it as there is no significance of difference for average marks when compared between male and female, and there is a significance of difference for average marks when compared between male and female. Okay. Choice of the test. Since I want to compare two groups, that is male and female, so I am choosing independent t-test. Okay, under the assumption that it is satisfying the condition of normality. Marks are defined on a scale. There it is a scale variable, and level of significance I am seeing that it is 5%. So 5% is very essential. So these are the things which we should know before going for SPSS. Now let us go to data and see. So we have variable to be called as marks, and we have variables to be called as gender. Procedure देखिए, procedure is analyze. It's very simple procedure. Compare mean. This compare mean has one sample. You can see that one sample t-test, independent sample t-test, paired sample t-test, and one-way ANOVA. Okay. Now let us say that before going for independent t-test, I will make you understand that how this one sample t-test can be used. Now one sample t-test is used for the purpose of testing one variable. Let us assume that marks of 25 students, and I want to test the marks. If I have previous year average only, and let us say that average marks obtained by this for this particular group, or for this particular test by any group in the previous year is say for example 70. Okay, 70 is my average score. Then I want to find out whether the marks obtained by this particular group is more than 70 or different from 70. So more than 70 and different from 70, it talks about one-tailed hypothesis and two-tailed hypothesis. I think someone must have discussed about one-tailed hypothesis or two-tailed hypothesis. So mostly today I'm going to consider two-tailed hypothesis. So I want to find out. Let us say that test value is 70. Estimate effect size. I will not talk about effect size right now. So in option, why I talked about 5% level of significance, because we have to give a confidence interval percentage that is 95%. So this 95% is based on 5% level of significance. If it is 1% level of significance, then this we would have changed and we would have taken it to 1%. Sorry, 99%. Okay, and I want to test whether I will click on OK. And what are the results? Now marks obtained by this particular group in one sample t-test is copy, and I will take it to the Word document so that you will understand. That it is, I think it is more visible. Okay. Now average marks obtained by this group is this one. Okay, that is 63.88. And what is the result of one sample t-test? In one sample t-test in SPSS provide you that what value you are used for testing. So it is 70. So last year the students group has scored 70 marks on an average, and I have compared the average marks of this particular group against the value 70. So this is how we use one sample t-test. So you will remember that what we require in one sample t-test, that analyze, compare means, then one sample t-test, click on one sample t-test. The variable you will select and you will take it to test variable, and here it is test value. So you can change your test value as per your requirement. So this 70 I have taken as from last year's data. So I have this only single value. So that is one variable is compared against single value. So that is 70. And in this way I can use one sample t-test. Now what about two sample t-test? This were independent t-test, sometimes called as two sample t-test. In most of the statistics literature it is called as two sample t-test. But SPSS is calling it as independent sample t-test. So try to understand that if you are referring different material of statistics, so you will get different names for this test. But ultimately, you will if you Google something and if you try to find out that is there any difference between this test, then you will come to know that there is no significance difference between calling it as independent sample t-test of two sample t-test. Now it is independent samples. Again, I want to compare marks. I'm taking marks as a test variable. Why I've chosen this as independent sample? Because I want to compare it between male and female. So there are two groups. So here you have to define your groups, and basically we have given a numeric code to this group as 1 and 2. Here is a point which is very essential, that why we require a numeric value here. So it is group 1 is 1 and group 2 is 2. So it is I want to compare between male as I coded it as 1 and female as 2. So let us continue, and we want to test for the marks. Anything else? This is again important for me. That is confidence interval. As I mentioned that my level of significance is 95%. That's why I will continue with 95%. My level of significance is 5% level of significance. So I will continue here by saying confidence interval percentage as 95. You can, if your level of significance is 1%, then you have to change this value to 99%. Now, by default, SPSS understands or takes 95% as a confidence interval. So estimate effect size, this is additional option which is provided with SPSS, new versions of SPSS. Prior to this, effect size was not there. Effect size is a different concept, or it is very essential concept. But we will not go for effect size concept, and we'll spare more time on testing procedures. So this is your test value. Okay. We will understand the output of this particular test. Output is very interesting, and let us understand this output. Okay, what does it provides me? There are two types of two rows they are getting: equal variances assumed and equal variances are not assumed. So it is a t-test. Now if it is equal variance is assumed, that means this levels test for equality of variance is automatically coming with independent sample t-test. Okay, this here also the null hypothesis for levels test is null is the variables, the variance between two variables is same. That means there is no significance of difference between the variance of the marks when compared between male and female. And alternative, there is a significance of difference between the variance for male and variance in the variable marks when compared between male and female. So levels test value, I will be happy if I will get levels test value as non-significant. That means greater than 0.05. And here I can confirm that levels test value is greater than 0.05. Therefore, I should take the values from the first row, that is equal variances assumed. Okay. So if suppose if it is less than 0.05, then we are rejecting null hypothesis, and we are concluding that there is a significance of difference between the average variance of average variance in marks when compared between male and female. Then I will choose the second row, that is equal variances not assumed. Now, it's the very little bit change we will get in the values. We will not have any change in the t-test calculation value, but the change starts with the degrees of freedom. You will find that I have 25 observations, so my default degrees of freedom will be 25 minus 1 minus 1, because we are comparing two groups. So it is 25 minus 2, so degrees of freedom comes out to be 23 here in this particular column. But when it is equal variances are not assumed, then these degrees of freedoms are adjusted, and there is a procedure for adjustment of these degrees of freedom. So we will not discuss about this particular value, or how this value is being adjusted. Our aim is to understand that how we can interpret this particular column. So here it is significance two-tailed value, and it is significance two-tailed value is 0.009. So if it is less than 0.05, you can see that if p value is less than 0.05, then we reject null hypothesis at 5% level of significance. So this p value is less than 0.05. Therefore, we reject null hypothesis that there is no significance of difference of for average marks when compared between male and female. So what is your ultimate conclusion? Conclusion is there is a significance of difference for average marks when compared between male and female. Now to conclude that who is better performer, I go to group statistics, and here you can find that I have male and female scores. So for male and female we have scores like 52.30 is the average score of male and 76.41 is the average score of female. And this is a standard deviation value and this is a standard error value. So we always present our data using mean and standard deviation. So on looking at the values of mean, we can see, I can conclude that female score is significantly more than that of male score. This is how we interpret our results. Now this is independent t-test. Now what about pair t-test? Let us say that in pair t-test, these are the marks after giving after. Okay, and also I have a before marks. Let us generate a before marks. Let us say equal to. I'm generating. Don't think of how I'm generating it. Just I'm generating a data set for this, and let us assume that this is 20, comma somewhere 60. I want to find out. So before marks are there, and I will copy it out. So I'm calling these marks as before and after. So let us call marks underscore a, and this is variable name. Please see how I'm giving names to the variable so that it will help you. So this is marks after, and this one is before. Let us call this variable as a scale variable under the assumption that it is normally distributed. Okay, for testing a normal distribution for this particular pair data set, what we need to test the difference. Okay, difference between marks A and marks B. So I can generate a new just give me a minute. So I have to generate a new variable. So compute variable is the option for me, and I'm calling it as a difference. Understand how we can use compute variable difference. You can take any difference, that after marks minus before marks, and we will click OK. So you will get new variable in your SPSS, and automatically it will give you difference. So difference will be okay. This is your difference. So difference is 93 minus 20, 97 minus 37, and so on. So if you want to test a normality for this pair data, then you have to find out difference first. Then you have to go for descriptive statistics, explore. Those who have not understood how to go for difference test, I don't want to compare now male and female. I want to compare before and after. So only single variable, and I just want plots. So I'll go for plots. I don't want to find out descriptive statistics for this. So you will find that I'm getting histogram. Then I'm getting this as a QQ plot. This is a QQ plot, and this is a box plot. Okay, difference ka box plot. So it is minimum value, maximum value, median. Then this is 25th percentile, 75th percentile. that is first quartile and third quartile. Okay. Test of normality is absolutely a normal. That means point. You can see that if I copy, I will show you what are the results of this particular test for paired data. I think my screen is visible. If yes, please put it in chat box. Yes. So, yes, thank you. So it is, here it is significance value, and this is 0.200. So this is greater than 0.05, and even it is greater than the lower bound, expected lower bound. So it is 0.200. So automatically we will find that Shapiro will be greater than 0.05. So what is that? My data is normally distributed. So if it is normally distributed, then I can go for paired comparison. Now for pair comparison, analyze. You will understand for just let me repeat it. For applying paired test and to test the normality in case of paired data, first of all we found a difference and then we test the difference for our normality. So that's how we go for test of normality in case of difference paired data. Now I want to find out significance of difference. There's a test called as paired sample t test. I will take my variable, first variable as before, second variable as after. You will get a pair here. Okay, so pair is there. Here it is again option में click करोगे तो it is 95%. So we are continuing with 95%. I don't want to estimate effect size, and it is simple click. Okay, so I hope you understood that first of all I have taken, again I will repeat procedure. I will repeat complete procedure. So it is analyze, compare means, and paired sample t test. First variable, if you select variables, and then it will take it as after and before. Okay, so that's why I avoid to select variables, because I want first variable as before and my second variable as after. So I have selected it independently. I don't want effect size 95%, confidence interval, that is 5% level of significance, and you click OK. You will get your results. So in pair sample, you will find while generating the results of pair sample, SPSS automatically generates the results of correlation also, because in correlation also gives me what has happened. So lower score has improved. Okay, opposite correlation. So it indicates that lower score has improved, but there are few scores which are higher and their score has decreased. That is overall idea. We are not interested in correlation value. So null hypothesis is H0. We write and we say the average marks. Sorry, there is no significance of. We'll follow one pattern only. There is no significance of difference between average marks when compared at before and after compared at before and after, let us say, lecture. Okay, and now alternate will be there is a significance. So it is H1 and there is the significance of difference. So definitely here you can see that before score is 41.72 and after score is 63.88. Now standard deviation is 9.98 and standard deviation after is 24.16. Standard deviation is a very essential parameter to understand the consistency between the data values. So in before students were more consistent, but the variance has increased in case of after case. Now which value we are interested in? Now this is mean difference. Okay, understand this is a pair differences. So average difference is minus 22.16. Why this is minus? Because it is before minus after. Okay, so यहाँ पे आपको आ जाता है कि this is a pair before minus after का सारा calculation है. Difference का standard deviation है, difference का standard error है. This is difference का confidence interval है. Lower and upper का confidence interval. Okay, we are interested in these three values. Okay, and you may be interested in these particular values. These are the four values which are very essential for me. So we have t-test value, degree of freedom, and this value I am calling it as, this is the p-value, two-tailed p-value. So let us call it as p-value. Okay, so p-value. Now degrees of freedom in case of independent t-test it is 25 minus 2, so it is 23, and in case of paired sample it is 25 minus 1, so it is 24 degrees of freedom. And p-value is 0.001, so it is less than 0.05. Therefore what we do? Reject our null hypothesis, and we conclude that there is a significance of difference between average marks when compared at before and after lectures. Okay. Now what if, suppose I am assuming that this data is not normally distributed. Okay, though it's a scale data but not normally distributed. Then what I should do? Okay, in case of this, I shift my analysis to non-parametric test, and there are tests which is called as one sample, independent sample, and related samples. So this is one sample, independent sample, and related sample. Instead of going for this available options, you will go for a legacy dialog box, and here it is one sample, and this is two independent sample and k independent samples. This one sample test is like your one sample t-test. This two independent sample is like your paired sample, and this one is, I can go for these two related samples test is like your paired sample t-test. Okay, so these are the t-tests. These are the three tests. Okay, but before going for non-parametric analysis, we'll go for another test which is available to us, and that is ANOVA. Now for ANOVA, I am using ANOVA for what comparison? If suppose I have to compare the average scores in case of more than two variables. So let me write my hypothesis, and let me say that H0, there is no significance of difference between average marks scored by respondent. Am I audible? My screen is visible? Please put yes in. I hope everybody will put yes, so that I will understand that all of you are getting respondents scored by marks scored by respondents in different age group. Okay, in different age groups, right? So I want my alternate hypothesis to be there is a significance. Now what about number of groups? Number of groups for comparison is 3, because we have 3 age groups. Dependent variable marks. Okay, level of significance. We have to decide level of significance. We don't have to understand. Only dependent variables and a number of groups for comparison. This we are only identifying. So level of significance 5%. Okay. Therefore, can I use independent t-test? No. Therefore, test will be ANOVA under the assumption that data is normally distributed and satisfying all the conditions of parametric test. Right. So this is how we write. So it is my null hypothesis and this is alternate hypothesis. So let us denote it by H1. Number of groups for comparison, 3 groups. Dependent variable is marks. So therefore it is a scale in nature. A level of significance is 5%. Therefore test will be ANOVA under the assumption that data is normally distributed and satisfies all the conditions of parametric test. Procedure. Go to your procedure. Procedure is analyze, compare means one-way ANOVA. Okay. Now the problem with ANOVA is I am comparing the marks obtained after. Okay, you can compare any one of these. After is again a scale, before is scale. If you want to find out the difference, whether the difference is significance, difference of before and after is significance or not. But I am comparing. I will take a first variable. Let us take all the 3 variables one by one. But first we will take after marks, and here it is factor. So age group is a factor. So remember that I am not choosing age. I am choosing age group. Okay. Contrast we will not go for contrast and all. Okay, we will keep ourselves at simple level. So the post-op, most preferred post-op test are either Duncan, Tukey's, or CDUC or LSD. Okay, you can use any one of these. So if equal variances are not assumed, then there are some other tests which are given in the second. So equal variances, we are assuming that there are equal variances. So instead of going for LSD, we'll go for CDUC. So you will understand that what is the use of post-hoc test. Now I will make you understand as I am explaining ANOVA. So let us generate a result. Okay, let me tell you procedure again. Analyze, compare mean, one-way ANOVA, after marks, that is a dependent variable, and age group is an independent variable. Post-hoc I am choosing as CDUC. Okay, any of these you can choose. You find out. Let's continue. Options if you want to have a descriptive, then means plot if you want, Welch statistics if you want, then. But we don't want, we will have just descriptive and means plot. I will make you understand confidence level is 95. This is very essential. Okay, you have to mention here that 95%, and let us click on OK. Okay. Then you will get descriptive, and you will get ANOVA, you will get multiple comparison, and you will get, I will copy all. You can export this, but if you export, then you have to save it somewhere else. So let us do one by one. This is your descriptive statistics. If you did ask for descriptive statistics, so it is descriptive one. What you will get in descriptive statistics? Number of observations in total, mean in each group, standard deviation of each group, standard error 95% for percentage for confidence interval for each group, then minimum value in each group and maximum value. Okay, my ANOVA is not significant. Okay, ANOVA is not significant. Okay, so if suppose if this ANOVA is, suppose if I change my value, let us say I will go for the test. Now ANOVA not significance means p-value is greater than 0.05, indicates that I should retain my null hypothesis, that there is no significance of difference. Okay. So if this value is retained, then this multiple comparison test doesn't have any significance for the comparison. And here it is, you'll get means plot. Means plot is nothing but this is average. What is the mean of 21 to 30, mean of 31 to 40, and mean of above 40 group. That is marks, mean of after marks. Okay. Let us take another data and let us find out. Compare means one way ANOVA. Let us see whether there is a difference in the before marks with respect to age group. Okay, so it's again not showing any significance of difference. So it is, let me make some changes in my data set. So suppose I will just make few changes in my data set. So let us say that I have 50 and this is 90, and then this is again 82, 80. I'm just making the changes for the sake to understand that one of the group. Let us make the change as 88, this is 93, 90, 88, so that you will understand that what exactly how I can use the post-hoc test. Again, this one is 89. Okay, let us compare again. Sorry. Analyze, compare means one way. I want after A marks, and let us see. Still not showing any difference. Just give me a second. So it's 23. Is my screen visible? No. Yeah.
No, sir.
Yes, I'm sharing. Yes, just a minute. I'm sharing the screen. Okay, just a minute. I'm sharing. I have an issue at my. Okay. So share your entire screen. Okay, share. Is it visible now? Yes. Okay. So see this. Now I've made some changes in my data set. I want to explain post-hoc comparison. That's why I just made few changes in my data set. So let us understand. I have done the analysis for. I'm comparing three groups. 1, 2, 3, and this is 4. These are the 4 essential parameters of your analysis. Okay, your first analysis was talking about no significance of difference. Okay, I will not explain this before and after and descriptive statistics. Only you will understand that descriptive statistics is used that age group 21 to 30 has scored less, that is 40 marks. 31 to 40 has scored 79 marks, and above 40 has scored 83 marks. Okay, so you will find that there is a difference between these mean scores. We want to find out whether the difference is significant or not. Now, what is ANOVA hypothesis? That there is no significance of difference between the average marks scored by a respondent in different age groups. So p-value is less than 0.05. So we confirm that we should reject our null hypothesis, and we conclude that there is a significance of difference between the marks scored by respondents in different age groups. Okay. If we have confirmed this, then we also have to find out the pairwise comparison. Now, pairwise comparison stands is nothing but it is talking about in SPSS we are calling it as a multiple comparison. Now, what is a pairwise comparison? As I have three groups, I need to compare the group 1, that is 21 to 30 against 31 to 40, then 21 to 30 against above 40, then 31 to 40 against above 40. So I have three comparisons. These three, you can see that I will retain only that much table. We have to do some changes as per our requirement. So that is very essential for you, that though you are using SPSS, it is not sufficient that SPSS is going to give you all the values or ready-made analysis. So it is not like that. Okay, it can help you for doing calculations, but you need to work on your Word file very properly. Okay, now you can see. Now, if this ANOVA is significant, then only we go for pairwise comparison. Otherwise, we don't go for pairwise comparison. So, what is that pairwise comparison? ANOVA, the interpretation of ANOVA says that there is at least one group which is making a sense for significance of difference. To find out which of the group is significant, what we do pairwise comparison. So, in pairwise comparison, we have used a SEDAC test. This is a multiple comparison test. Now it is the option is available in ANOVA option only. ANOVA, when you click on ANOVA, I will again show you where is the SEDAC test results are. So analyze, compare means, one-way ANOVA, and post-hoc comparison. So post-hoc comparison, here I use SEDAC. You can use any one of these. But SEDAC and Tukey's are preferred, even ILSD is preferred. These are the preferred tests. If equal variance is not assumed, then you have to use the second domain. But we are assuming equal variances. So it is SEDAC test. But use SEDAC test. Okay. And these are the results of SEDAC test. Descriptive, ANOVA, multiple comparison, and this is the plot. Okay. Now, what does this multiple comparison says? When I am comparing the average score of group 1 against 31 to 40, the average score is significant. It means that the average mark scored by group 1, that is 21 to 40, is 40, and average mark scored by 31 to 40 is 79.8. So, its value is less than 0.05, indicates that there is a significance of difference between the scores of group 1 and group 2. Okay, what about 21 to 30 and above 40? Yes, its value is less than 0.05, this value, that is 0.000. So 0.000 is not 0, it is very small value. If you want to see that what is the 0.000, you can go and check in SPSS. Okay. In SPSS, the value, you will be able to find out the value as it is 0.000095. So you can go and check that value. But as our setting is that up to 3 decimal places here, so it will only show up to 3 decimal places. So this value 0.000 is less than 0.05, indicates that there is a significance of difference between 21 to 30 when compared against above 40. Okay. Now, what about another comparison, that is 31 to 40 and above 40? If you see, the mean scores of 31 to 40 is 79.8 and above 40 the score is 83.00. So there is a difference, but this difference is not statistically significant because the p-value in this case is 0.985, so it is greater than 0.05, and we conclude that 21 to 30 when compared against 31 to 40 has a significance of difference. And which one is better? 31 to 40 is better. This negative sign is nothing but 21 to 40 30 ka score minus 31 to 40 ka score. So that is 40 minus 79.8, that gives me 39.8. But the higher value ka sign chalata hai yahan pe, so it is 39.8 is with the negative sign. So we don't have to bother about this value. We do all our conclusion on the basis of this significant value. And what is this chart? This chart is called as means plot. Okay, we cannot, एक बार आप plot Word document में लेके आओगे तो you cannot edit it. But if you want to edit this particular plot, you can edit in SPSS. You can say that I want to change the value uh, scale of y from, I want it at minimum, so I can apply. So before bringing it in a Word document, you can do all changes. You can even select this particular line, and if you want to choose a color for this line, you can do the changes, and you can see that I can change the line, okay, line color and all changes. Just close the window, and but once brought in Word document, you cannot do any changes. It become image. So it is the change is only possible when it is in SPSS window. And here you can do some changes. So this is how we use ANOVA. Okay, I will very quickly take you to SPSS non-parametric test. Okay, I'm assuming that my data is not normally distributed. So what are the possible tests? Okay, as I've mentioned in the domain of the test, that if it is an independent test, then its corresponding non-parametric test is Mann-Whitney U test. Okay, if it is a paired t test, then its corresponding non-parametric domain test is Wilcoxon-Saint-Rank test. If it is ANOVA test, then its corresponding non-parametric test is Kruskal-Wallis. Uh, there are a lot of tests which are available in statistics, but these are very frequent tests, has got more acceptance, and people are aware about this test. So we can use the effect size is very good. That is, it's what you can say that they are more powerful than other non-parametric tests. So they are used very frequently. Now what we can do very quickly, what we will do, we'll quickly run through this test. The procedure is, I'm just telling you, interpretation do not change. Now very small changes in the interpretation. Non-parametric, what I'm doing, analyze, non-parametric, legacy dialog, and I will go to two independent sample tests. Now I want to compare after marks. Okay, I want to compare male and female. So here you have to define 1 and 2. You can continue. You can see that test type is, these are the tests which we can use: Moses extreme reaction test, full case test, case state test, and Wall-Wolf-Wheats run test, and Mann-Whitney. But I will just tell you about Mann-Whitney. So because Mann-Whitney is very frequent one, and it is more powerful than any other test. Okay, exact. We will not go for exact. We will go for, you can click on exact or asymptotic. So these are the options. Exact method will be used instead of Monte Carlo when computational limits allow. Okay, for non-asymptotic methods, cell counts are always. But for these are the options which are for those people who are working on very strict data sets where significance really matters to life. Okay. So if you are dealing with the social science data, and if you are not worried about, means if your data set is not life-threatening data sets, like clinical trials का जो data होता है, that is a life-threatening data set. So there we are quite precise. Here we can go for asymptotic only. So we'll go for asymptotic one. And options, you can see that descriptive. If you want, you can have a descriptive here. Continue. I don't have to think of any 95% or 5% here, and on the basis of my p-value comparison, I can use 1% or 5% for my comparison. So I will click on OK. You will find I get these three tables. Okay, I'm interested in first one, second, and third one. These are all the three. Okay, what do these tables tells me? These tables are talking about, this is after, and after का score था आपका descriptive, and gender I have used, but this is the problem with Mann-Whitney when you are asking for descriptive. So it gives you after का भी उसने mean standard deviation दे दिया, gender का भी mean standard deviation दे दिया. Gender का mean standard deviation is of no use because we don't calculate a mean and standard deviation of male and female. Okay, here it is. This is essential one that we talk about mean rank. How this mean rank is being calculated? All data is arranged in ascending or descending order, and they are given certain ranks from 1 to the final value, and then average scores, average ranking of male is being calculated, average ranking of female is being calculated. That procedure you can find out from if you Google it, you will get the procedure. Okay. Now you want to talk about, this is asymptotic p-value and this is exact significance p-value. This is one-tailed significance, this is two-tailed. So we will talk about only one-tailed. We will not go in detail of all this. But you should know only what is the counter test which is used against t-test. So I can use Mann-Whitney U-test against t-test. It is a value, and let us say that this is less than 0.05. So it indicates that there is a significance of difference between male and female. Now, after giving your scores of male and female, and if you have a descriptive statistic for male and female, this descriptive is not working because this is a descriptive which is talking about overall average. Now how you can do interpretation here? The higher the mean rank indicate higher scores. Okay, higher the sum of rank scores indicate higher scores of marks. So female has more scores than that of male because mean rank of female score is more than mean rank of male score, and that is significant. So this is your Mann-Whitney U test. Okay, I will quickly run through your Kruskal-Wallis test. Kruskal-Wallis test is used against ANOVA. So I want to find out, this is after marks, then Kruskal-Wallis, and then age group, defined range 1 to 4 because I may be having data for 2, 3, and 4, but as I have given a range from 1 to 4, I will put it as 1 to 4 exact. And the problem with SPSS here, SPSS has a limitation that as you see that when I'm going for ANOVA, the post hoc test option was available with the window. But here test of several independent samples and using Kruskal-Wallis doesn't give me option for post hoc test. So post hoc test comparison is we have to do separately, and we use Mann-Whitney U test or any other 2 variable test for the comparison of non-parametric test data as a post hoc test. So here if you want to do a real analysis, then if you along with SPSS, if you use SAS or R programming language package, then it will be advantageous for you because in R you can calculate post hoc comparison of Kruskal-Wallis also. So I will get a result. A result is same like that of your Mann-Whitney U test because this is the extension of Mann-Whitney U test, and you will find there is a rank, mean rank, and interpretation of Kruskal-Wallis is p-value less than 0.05. This is asymptotic significance, so we write here p-value. Okay, and less than 0.05 indicates that there is a significance of difference between age group. Now, as we could find out the pairwise comparison here with respect to parametric, we cannot find out a pairwise comparison here, and we have to do extra efforts for calculation of pairwise comparison. So what we have to do, either we will do it one by one, that is I will use Mann-Whitney U test for the comparison and 2 independent samples. Instead of this I will have age group, and I can say that it is 1 and 2. So I can do that. So and I can find out the value for, this is age group between 10 to 20 and 21 to 30, then 2 and 3, then 1 and 3, and then 3 and 4, like that. So this is the disadvantage of running non-parametric test. Multiple comparison test is not available with the non-parametric. So this was all about your some application. I'm not saying that I have detailed you on everything, but it is really we could explore a few things to you. Uh, as yesterday I got I think I read a message from someone that it really requires 7 days. Even I feel that 7 days are not sufficient to train you on SPSS, because if you practice more on SPSS, if you do some small data analysis for your research papers and all, automatically you will be more comfortable with this. Okay, but there are other soft packages or other softwares which are freely available. So if you get a chance to uh, be a part of those type of webinars, you will have a more idea that how R can be used or other packages can be used. They are freely available, and there are some libraries in R which are talking about menu-driven option. So you can think of that also. But this is really a very good package, SPSS, and you're getting at least a basic idea, basic training of SPSS. So you will be able to start practicing on SPSS if you could get the SPSS version at your institute. Okay. There are many institutions which are giving a 7-day course. You keep tracking HSLC University. HSLC University is in sometime is going to offer a certificate course in SPSS. We have that kind of plan, but we have not come out with that. Uh, so this is all about your today's session. So this is over to the organizer, and if I have some questions, they can you can raise few questions if you want to. I will also read from SS Scholar. Uh, Amazing studying fast. Okay, good evening to all. If organizer could give me can tell me few questions, I can.
So in the chat section, I can see only the one question. So will you discuss the MANOVA?
Manova is not part of this discussion. Okay, for Manova will require some means more preparation and more time. Okay.
Okay, sir. That is the only question over here. One question, sorry, sir. There is one question, sir. Could you explain the two-way ANOVA also?
Yeah, two-way ANOVA
I
we
guess
can
you
go.
have explained it.
I have explained one-way ANOVA, but for two-way ANOVA, this compare mean is not. We don't use this option, but we go for generalized linear model. And here it is univariate. So your dependent variable is after marks, and here you can have your more than fixed factors, then random factor and covariates. So more than two factors when you are comparing. So age group, and if suppose you have any one more variable, then you can take it to these fixed factors. And this is how you can use. For model, don't go for full factorial model. Type 3 sum of squares.
Sorry to interrupt you, but again tell about two-way ANOVA, how to the procedure.
Okay, I will tell you procedure. Analyze. After compare means there is a general linear model. Okay. In general linear model, it is univariate. Option is univariate. And in dependent variable, you will go for you'll put your dependent variable here. For two-way ANOVA, we require two factors for the comparison. As in one-way ANOVA, only age group was the only factor. So I will put first factor as age group, and let us take a gender as the second factor. And then in model, don't go for any other option, build items or build custom. Okay, let it be full factorial model. And you have to take care that this is the default sum of square is type 3 sum of square. Type 3 sum of square is used for two-way. Include intercept. If you don't want intercept, then just deselect it. Okay. So if you see the format of two-way ANOVA, you will require some additional knowledge of statistics for two-way ANOVA. If you are very good in at basic understandings of ANOVA, then only you will be able to interpret two-way ANOVA. Rest all that contrast, because you should know what is to be called as contrast. You should know which plots are very essential in two-way ANOVA for your comparison. So that also you should know. Then
Here
post hoc comparison is as usual. Okay, so age group wise I want to do, and these are the tests which are available for post hoc comparison. So this is the estimated marginal mean. This if you not click, that is also okay for us. Okay, options is not a problem for us. That is descriptive statistics, and one more test we should have, that is homogeneity of test. These are the options which we click on. Okay, and rest all is you keep as it is. Okay, and if you execute, you will get a two-way ANOVA. Okay, so it is model score sum of this particular ANOVA last table. Then this is age-wise comparison, gender-wise significance, and then age against gender, that is significant age or gender when taken together, male in particular age group is having any chance of significance. So yes. So rest all interpretations are same as that of your ANOVA. I hope this is okay for two-way ANOVA, but I will suggest those who want this to be understood in very good way, they should first of all read the basics of two-way ANOVA at statistics level.
Sir, here dependent variable is marks.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you. Anything else? Any more question?
So the next question is asked by Dr. Ramesh. Difference between the significant and insignificant result of SPSS analysis.
Insignificant result means your average scores are almost same, and significant means the average scores differ. They are different. That means, say for example, I will tell you that the value 40 and 50. So there is a difference between 40 and 50. Now, what does statistics do? Statistics establishes significance. Significance का मतलब क्या हो गया? The difference which is appearing before you in the values, that is 40 and 50, whether it has to be taken significantly or not. That means that difference is really going to matter or not. So that's how the statistics talks in. So there may be a difference, but difference may not be significant. So that's how we take a significance and non-significance. So non-significant difference means 40 and 43. There is a difference, but the difference is not significant. 40 and 50, there is a difference, but the difference is significant. That means the values looks differently, but statistics may not call it as significantly different or significantly not different. Okay, so that's how we do. Statistically, we call it as significantly different and non-significantly different. Any other question?
Next question is by Dr. Bhavesh Shah. Can we calculate the regression in SPSS related to this?
Absolutely,
another question is asked by the
tomorrow we have correlation. So along with correlation, we'll go for regression also.
Okay, thank you, sir. Next one question by Prabhanjan Jha. How we can know there is a difference between variable in two groups?
He's talking about variance. So once if you execute, you can see that when he executes or one executes the independent t-test for two groups, in the table only we get Leven's test for equality of variances. So if this Leven's test से आपको पता चलेगा कि group में variances equal है या नहीं है. So that you can that is available with independent t-test.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, please.
I had gone through SPSS analysis regarding chi-square, and let me try to understand my problem. When I write interpretation, I got severe problem in writing interpretation. So I have used 5-point scale for data collection. So almost respondents have given response about strongly agree and agree. So when I have formulated the null hypothesis, there is no significant relationship. Obviously, we are going to do demographic factors and questionnaire questions. So there, I want to test the relationship between the age and the employee motivation.
I will
The
suggest
result
you.
has come, sir, like me, to that the p-value is sometimes in regression and chi-square. Suppose in chi-square, most of the respondents have strongly agree about the motivation. When it comes to the statistical test, its p-value is more than 0.05. Maybe my null hypothesis was rejected.
Absolutely.
So, in my analysis, I actually go for the data analysis. I collected the opinion of the people. Most of the people have given, okay, motivation factors are excellent. But when I go and run the SPSS, whatever the assumption I made, there is no significant relationship. So, actually, there is a relationship, but statistically, it's showing that insignificant. The p-value is.
I will explain you this. This is a problem of choice of the test. Okay.
Okay.
Because you are comparing response against response is compared against male and female. Yeah, response is compared against age group. Okay.
Yes,
so and your all responses are in agree and strongly agree.
Yes.
So what you can do, you can reframe your hypothesis by saying that there is no significance of difference between the average scores of average motivational score for male and female, and use non-parametric test for the comparison. So you are taking a frequency test for the comparison. What does chi-square do? Chi-square is talking about whether the number of cases in agree and strongly agree is same in different age group or not. So I hope that that would have been same in all age group, and your all other responses are zero. That means strongly disagree, and neither agree nor disagree. So that's why your distribution of your data with respect to different age group will be almost same. If you look at the percentage, you will get that idea कि आपका percentage distribution with respect to different age group will be almost same. So that's why chi-square is coming as a non-significant.
Okay.
And that is one thing. And how you establish that there is a significance of difference?
Difference means parallelly I have to go do Summersby test and pi test. That is going to show the strength of the association. Square root of chi-square test divided by 1 plus some formula was there. So it is giving the strength of the association. But some cases I have a little bit confusion that respondents have strongly agree, but statistically it is showing insignificant. How I have to write interpretation? That's my problem.
What you can do? You have. I think I shared my mobile number yesterday. Okay.
Okay.
So
sir.
if you could snap and send me a WhatsApp on that,
sure.
I can discuss with you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, because unless looking at your results, I will not be able to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, one more question. Sometimes we get p-value as 0.000. Then it's better to compare calculated value with tabulated value, or we can go.
No, you can go. That's why in one of my result I've shown that I'm getting 0.000. Okay, but it is never a 0.00. It is not a 00. Okay, I will show you. Okay, is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, you can look at this value. Above 40 का जो value है, it is 0.000. Right?
Yes, sir.
Is that visible?
Yes.
The first value is 0.002. Second value is 0.000. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Post hoc test table.
Okay.
Is that visible?
Slightly, sir.
So could you please zoom this?
Or you can copy this to Word.
This is not, I cannot, एक minute. View option, outline font is. Okay, if I could do that, the edit content options. Some options have changed in the new spaces. Okay. I will just tell you. Is that visible? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is that visible?
Yes,
Now
sir,
this this value is actually 0.002 and next value is 0.000.
Yes.
Okay. Now this value you are talking, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I will show you that. Suppose if I increase this as
Not only in post hoc, but I will
anywhere. Anywhere I'm talking. Okay.
Okay.
So this value is if I want to, if I will change the cell properties, you can see that I can right click and I can change the cell properties. And here it is number of decimal places.
Okay.
Is alignment and margin, and you can decimal. You can change the decimal places, format value, and preview a number and decimal places. Let us say that it is 4, 5, 6, and 7 and 8. Okay. So now apply, and now if suppose if I could. Okay, now it has changed. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, is that fine for you? So you can change and you can see.
So as a statistician, I have this question always, because in social sciences thesis, I have seen that they are giving 0.000 p value and give their analysis. So that's why I am.
No. That value is 0.000 means it is a very small p value. Okay, it is never a zero.
Sir. Yes.
Zero. It is we say that it is very small p value, and as a statistician we know that if there is a little bit difference between the calculated value and tabulated value,
Yes.
then definitely there is this p value will never be equal to 0. Okay.
Yes.
So it will be away from 0, and if there is a vast difference between a calculated value and tabulated value, so definitely the p value is approaching towards 0.
Yes.
Okay, so that's how we do the changes in SPSS.
Yes, sir.
टेबल आप अगर आउटपुट को ये कर लोगे, एडिट करोगे तो आपको आ जाएगा.
हाँ सर, यही चीज लोगों को पता नहीं रहती. That's why they only write in social sciences thesis.
Now, one more thing is that because I'm also in that I'm also consultant statistician. So स्टैटिस्टिक्स जब आप वैल्यू 0.000 देते हैं लोग, तो उसका बहुत सारे रेस्ट्रिक्शंस होते हैं. फॉर्मेटिंग का रेस्ट्रिक्शन होता है, and some values are they are really very small, that is 0.00000000000 like that. Okay, so it is say for example 2.5 into 10 raised to the power minus 32.
Yes.
So either they have to represent it in scientific notation, or they have to give it in the normal notations. But as a social scientist, what is the problem with most of the people? Sometimes when you are giving a scientific notation, and if they are passing it to someone else, then they have to explain that this is a
They
scientific
didn't
notation. So
understand the things.
so that's why it is better to give it in the format of 0.000.
Yes,
So
sir.
that's why as a statistician we should accept that value, and we have that understanding.
Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you, sir.
Yeah.
So next question is when to use the parametric and when to use the non-parametric test.
I think I explained when to use parametric and when to use non-parametric. Okay. So parametric is used on when the assumptions of parametric test are satisfied. The first assumption of parametric test is data is variable is scale in nature, and second assumption is that data satisfies the condition of normality. If these two conditions are satisfied, then we can use parametric test. Otherwise, we have to go for non-parametric. Any?
The next question is asked by the Prabhanjan Jha. I'll request the Prabhanjan Jha, because you have posted 3 to 4 questions. If you will ask that directly to the sir, that will be better. Otherwise, I'll ask. I guess he is not online. What I'll do, sir read the other questions. I'll just wait for the Mr. Prabhanjan Jha over here. Okay. The next question is asked by Mr. Santosh Kadam. Which test we apply for the hypo testing? How to identify?
That is for identification of the test. There is no rule as such. Okay. If you see, I will show you. Okay, what test has to be applied? If you see this particular chart. Okay, I think in my different sessions, in different webinars, I have used different types of charts. So wherever I have I've taken a session, detailed session. So there I have given the detailed chart. Okay, this chart says that data analysis, then parametric and non-parametric I have given. Okay, but we start with data analysis. Then here we write we write here differences. Okay, then what is your objective? Differences, or whether you want to test the association. So accordingly, this is the procedure of choosing your test. Okay, and if it is differences, then whether parametric data, and in parametric if two variables, then independent and paired, then t-test. Okay, likewise we go for generating more than two variables, then it is ANOVA. And now here it is differences, and we write Mann-Whitney. We change the particular, this is non-parametric, corresponding two variables, non-parametric, then Mann-Whitney, and more than two variables Kruskal values. And here we write correlation in parameters, Pearson's correlation, Pearsonian correlation, Pearson's correlation, and Spearman's. So in this case, it is parametric is Pearson. So likewise, we this is the procedure of choosing a test. So this table will also help you to generate. And there are many books. I think, if I'm not wrong, then C.R. Kothari. If you, most of you might be referring C.R. Kothari, research methodology wala book. So that will also help you to help in case of choosing a test. So that's possible. Okay, and There is no, as such, there is no rule, but you can go using this method. Any other question?
Next question is by Snehal Chaugule. What are the parameters to select any particular test? How
So
can
same
we
question
go
I
for?
answered.
Yeah. Okay. The next one is difference between the one tail test and two tail test. Sir, and then he has written accept and reject the null hypothesis.
Okay, accept and reject null hypothesis is on the basis of p-value varying. Okay, so p-value greater than 0.05, we do not reject. That means we are supposed to accept null hypothesis. P-value less than 0.05, then we do reject null hypothesis. And in case of a calculated value and tabulated value comparison, if calculated value is greater than tabulated value, then we do reject null hypothesis. If calculated value is less than tabulated value, then we do not reject null hypothesis. And for your one-tailed test and two-tailed test, it is based on the pair of null and alternate hypothesis. So what we have, null hypothesis is always of no difference, but alternate can be of either difference or greater than type or less than type. So if your alternate hypothesis, your null hypothesis is of no difference and alternate is of difference, that means whatever hypothesis we have framed today, all they are of two-tailed type. That means null is of no difference and alternate is of difference. The another combination which is possible is I can say that there is no significance of difference between average marks scored by male and female. And in alternate, I can put that there is a significance. The average mark scored by male is significantly more than the average mark scored by female. So this is the second type of alternate. That means it is greater than type hypothesis, and this is the one tail. Here you will have to go for one tail test. So it is depending on your type of hypothesis pair. In detail, if you want to understand this, you can refer any basic statistics book for one-tailed and two-tailed. Even FYBSc Statistics of Mumbai University will also. Any more questions?
This was the only last question for you.
Okay.
And thank you so much, sir, for this outstanding session. In the chat section also, you can see that each and everyone has posted that your session was excellent and they have understood this difficult SPSS just because of you. So thank you so much once again, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
So everyone, we are going to wind up the session now. Sir, again, tomorrow will be with us for the last day of our international workshop, and he is again going to share his expertise knowledge with us.
So can we stop? Shall I?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can leave the call.
Yeah, thank you.
I request each and everyone that you can end up the meeting. I am going to post the feedback form in the WhatsApp group.